Hello everyone, this is Dan Drake with At Properties, and today we're going to be discussing the July 2026 market update for the entire Chicagoland area. And we're already a month past the midpoint, and honestly, the way that this year's tracking so far is very similar to last year and similar to the two prior years before, with just the high interest rates, unfortunately means less inventory on the market and prices keep getting higher and higher. Now, we were obviously hoping at this point we'd have interest rates lower than they are. But with everything that's going on in the world, unfortunately, the bond market is staying high. As you can see, the 10-year yield and also the 30-year yield has been the highest that it's been in the past 20, 30 years. So unfortunately, because of that, the mortgage rates are tracking just as high. I think a lot of places you're getting around 6.5%, maybe even 7%. Some might get you even less. Again, it depends on a couple different things. But overall, interest rates remain stubbornly high. And because of that, like we said, prices keep getting higher because of just the lack of inventory that we're all experiencing. So over the past month, basically, excuse me, the Chicagoland prices have gone up 6.2%. Sorry, from this time last year, and from last month, we're actually about up 1% in regards to the prices for the entire Chicagoland area. Now, for the inventory is actually down 5%, which again, it tracks. With mortgage rates what they are, less people really want to get out of their handcuff, their golden handcuffs of the low interest rates they had prior. And so because of that, excuse me, how about that? So because of that, prices just keep getting higher and higher. And also, because of the low inventory, closings in the Chicagoland area are actually down as well. They're down about 1.3%. Now, when we look at Barrington as a whole, Barrington is up about 5.7%, and it is one of the villages, when you look at the kind of the overall average and median sales price, it's one of the highest in the northwest suburbs. And we're actually up a little bit from last month, but overall we're up about 5.7% from this time last year. Now, the inventory is actually down 16%, and we remain right around the 2-month supply of inventory. Now, when you look at the kind of the surrounding suburbs, 2 months is kind of one of the higher ends because a lot of these villages are kind of hovering around a month or maybe a month and a half. So Barrington, again, they're usually not going to have as many closings, but the closings that do happen in Barrington are typically going to be the higher price. And closings are actually up this month 5.7% from this time last year. Now, when we look at Arlington Heights, prices are up 3.7% from this time last year, slightly up from last month. Inventory is up 9%, and this is actually only sitting at 1.2 months supply of inventory. And the closings are down 6.9% from last year, but overall very similar to June. Now, Palatine prices are up 5.3%, but slightly down from last month. Now, that could be a couple different things. It could be the fact that June had a lot of high price closings and July didn't. But overall, prices are still up from this time last year. The inventory is stable at 1.3 months supply of inventory, very similar to Arlington Heights. And the closings are basically right the same as last year and the same as last month. So it's a very stable Palatine market. And now the Schaumburg prices are up 3.1% from last year, slightly down from last month. Inventory is up 8.3%, and again, it's sitting at 1.3 months supply of inventory. And the closings are up slightly, just less than 1% at 0.8%. Now, Hoffman Estates is the last village I kind of target. Now, the prices in Hoffman Estates are actually up 6.6% from last year. From this time last month, it's very stable, just like Schaumburg. The inventory is actually up 40%. It's at 1.4 months supply of inventory. Now, I don't know what's going on in Hoffman Estates. I have to look at it, why it was so low last year and why it's gone up 40%. But overall, when you look at it, it's only 1.4 months supply of inventory, which is extremely low. And closings are up about 4.5%. So overall, when you look at kind of the July market, we're very similar. Prices are obviously up about anywhere from 6 to 10%, depending on the area from this time last year. Inventory, as you can see, we're very stable across the board. And really the main thing, and I'm going to keep hammering it home, is the fact that interest rates remain stubbornly high. Now, once that changes and the rates start going down a little bit, you will see a lot more homes come on the market. But also, too, even if, to me, I think if interest rates stayed what they are in the next couple of years, I do feel that at some point it's bound to kind of switch over. Because we've already had 4 years of low inventory, low transactions. At some point, people are going to say enough's enough. Now, I will notice that this year, this is really kind of the first time in 4 years that I really don't have any buyers that are talking to me or holding off because of interest rates. I think that was of the past. I think a lot of buyers now at this point, they realize it is what it is. They're paying 6-7%. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the reality of life. But I think that reality is also going to hit sellers in the next couple of years when they realize that now is the time to sell and now is the time to move on in the next stage in their life. So If you have any questions, or if you ever have any kind of comments about your neighborhood, and you want a kind of a more in-depth market analysis, please feel free to give me a call. You can call me at 847-347-3484.